Hey folks, I just want to bring you this information and keep it pretty short so you can share with everybody the lies they're telling about the number of deaths that they're saying is occurring around the world. It's just been fabricated. And here we have no less than Stanford University. And what are they saying about it? In a Wall Street Journal editorial, Stanford's health policy, if it's true that novel means fiction, coronavirus could kill millions without shelter in place, then the extraordinary measures being carried out in the cities are surely justified. But there's little evidence to confirm that premise. There's little evidence to confirm that premise, and projections of the death toll. Fear of the is based on high estimated case fatality rates, 2 to 4% of people that have been confirmed, according to WHO. So if 100 people ultimately get the disease, 2 to 4 million would die. We believe that estimate is deeply flawed. The true fatality rate is the portion of those who are infected to die, not the deaths from identified positive cases. And all they're doing is make up the fear, and then everybody bites into the first headline and nobody does any more research. That's why it was so hard after 9/11 to change people's minds about that this was a coordinated attack on all. It was the beginning of World War III is what it was. All right, so this is from the New Journal of New England Medicine, highly respected, peer-reviewed, yada, yada, PhDs, yada, yada. All right, so what do they have to say? Overall clinical consequences of COVID may be ultimately more akin to those of severe seasonal flu, which has a fatality rate of 0.1%. They have the flu, folks. There is no coronavirus. It's a hoax. You cannot get it by breathing on another person. Otherwise, other members in your family would be getting it if you had it. If it was contagion, it's all mind control. Everything is mind control. Okay, this is how we undo it. We wake up. If one assumes the number of asymptomatic, means doesn't show, or minimally symptomatic cases is several times as high as the number of reported cases, the case fatality rate may be considerably less than 1%. This suggests the overall clinical consequences may be akin to a seasonal flu, less than 1%, rather than a disease similar to SARS or MERS, which have caused fatality rates 9 to 10%. And then we had the professor at the university in England, professor who predicted 500 UK deaths now says under 200 will die and peak in 2 weeks. And Mr. Neil Ferguson, Imperial College in London, could not have got it more wrong. Originally 500,000, and now he's saying less than 20,000. It's going to end in a couple weeks. How did this idiot get it so wrong with all their degrees and all their little letters after them, all their schooling? What are fish? They're schooled like fish. And it just so happens that Saint Corona is the patron saint against plague and epidemics. Saint Corona, you can't make this up. Just further evidence, this is all a pandemic. And cultivate your common sense, please. On the day 108 persons died in China, same day 26,000 of cancer, 25,000 heart disease, 4,300 diabetes, mosquitoes, yada, yada. I mean, it's just beyond the pale, the mind psyop going on now. And let's remember who we're dealing with. The supposed alleged those to protect us in the federal governments and states that are the healthcare workers. Well, we see the Supreme Court sitting judge used to be an attorney for Monsanto. We see the big pharma connections between all of the Carter, Ford, Trump, Clinton administrations, all used to work at Merck and Pfizer and Squid. We see over $4 billion paid in damages, which is very hard to qualify for damages for injuries and death due to vaccinations, yet the doctors are not liable. The big pharma's not liable. Fear, fear, fear. Every year, because they have to enhance shareholder values, them being the corporations. But there's a much bigger agenda going on here. And again, these are the numbers coming out from these articles. Over the next weeks and months, 150 million will contract the virus, half the entire population. California will have 25.5 million people infected, 56% of the population, and it's going to intensify over the next 2 weeks. New Jersey to be 100% infected. New York City quarantined, living in the pandemic state. You should really get a hold of this article. We're never going back to our previous life by MIT. This is their game plan here. And it's really important to understand the World Economic Forum. If you haven't looked at that site that's linked below here, with calling for the lockdown in the United States, this is the chart you need to pay attention to. This is what they're planning to do. So you see the March, April, May, so it's every 2 months here. All right, so the spike is going to go up. This is going to be the number of cases. Then it's going to drop. Oh, we've got it all fixed. Oh, it's all better. Whoops, we found some more in September. Whoa, and then right around Christmas time. Oh my God, it's spiking again. It's going higher than before. Oh, we got it better. And they're going to wear you out. And they're going to force you to take the pills or vaccines or yada, yada, whatever they're telling you to do, they're going to be promoting it. But this article is really important to go through that the Dijkstra's from TrueStream Radio broke out. You know, and this is from MIT Review. So these are the guys that help fund The Economist. Gates works with them directly. And so this is their playbook. I mean, if we want to know what's happening and how they're going to be playing this out, they've closed their hand. Here's that chart I'm talking about. But they talk about, you know, how they're going to use social distancing. Research includes all of this, 18 months for solutions. They've got their curves about how long it takes. But we need to really study these maps because this is what they're planning. This is their plandemic. And I'll include this in the show notes for you to get over. So don't give in to the fear. And I highly, highly recommend you go to this site, World Economic Forum Strategic Intelligence, and start cruising around this site. I'm going to be breaking it down here. You can register as well. But this, again, is their game plan. And behind each one of these, this is just the coronavirus. They've got plans for migration, geopolitics. Here's the United States, European Union, healthcare delivery, humanity action, global governance, workplace and employment. Behind every one of these links are hundreds and hundreds of other links of their plan. This is their game plan. Once we know what they're doing, we can act. Aging, values, human rights, or what's left, development, finance, automotive, extremely extensive. Put in drones, and look what they got planned with the drones as well. So study this as well, please. And I'm going to leave you with their video so you can better understand the agenda of the great plan, of what they call their grand design. And please note the very first words of this video. How can artificial intelligence
How are artificial intelligence, migration, and education connected? How can boosting innovation, reducing inequality, and combating corruption help us to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals? In an increasingly complex world, these connections can be hard to see. Yet a systemic understanding of global issues is essential. The World Economic Forum developed strategic intelligence as a set of cutting-edge digital tools to explore, understand, and anticipate the forces driving transformations around the world. At its heart are the Forum's transformation maps. They depict and analyze the interdependencies between a wide range of topics, illustrating how developments in one area can impact others. By drawing on the collective intelligence of the Forum's networks, transformation maps explain the factors driving change across industries, economies, and global issues. For example, by disrupting every aspect of technology, the Fourth Industrial Revolution will have a profound impact on governance and affect the scale and character of conflict. That will test the traditional role of governments, even as they confront other challenges such as the aging populations in advanced economies. Transformation maps cover more than 200 topics and are available in multiple languages. Each topic is defined by its key issues, the most strategic trends shaping that topic. Because we are not looking at topics in isolation, but instead at entire systems in transformation, we highlight how the issues depicted in one map are interdependent with other maps. The content is continuously updated by leading experts from the Forum's extensive network. It is supplemented by a machine-curated feed of the latest findings and analysis from top universities and research institutions, and is enhanced by technologies used in machine learning, artificial intelligence, and advanced network analytics. The platform also incorporates economic, social, and political data, as well as time-lapse satellite imagery, allowing you to visualize trends in areas such as sea level rise, deforestation, global trade flows, and the refugee crisis. Strategic intelligence is the World Economic Forum's most advanced knowledge resource you can use to navigate today's increasingly complex and interconnected world.